Hello the internet, welcome back to the Waifus. I'm Sefhi, your favorite gambling addict, and today's topic is going to be Rristie, our new depressed backline DPS. She's actually pretty good. I've been enjoying using her so far. She can compete with the hyper carries on the press on single target only. When it comes to wave clearing, she doesn't have as much damage, but she makes up with the utility she provides. So before we go into this, as usual, leave a like, subscribe, and make the channel. And if you don't want to watch the whole video, which is completely fine, she is at the T1 with the new flag for raids. This character tier placement is based on their performance against bosses and raids, right? And for her card, it's also at the T1. Now, let's jump to talk about why she is T1 only for bosses, how her kit works, a little bit on investment, and if it's worth pulling for her or not. Now, before the meta talk a little bit, the useful talk for most players, A club resources and the boards, because that's more useful for the majority of players. Her A club is pretty decent. She has spoons, which we didn't have that many players, that many apostles, fluffy cotton, and also some hard black fruit. When it comes to the spoons, there is not that many characters because we only had really Ifrit that was providing it, so now we can also use Risty for that because Yumimi and Maestro are not great for either. So pretty good for that. When it comes to her board, it's also a pretty nice board. We're talking about attack on the first board with some defenses, attack right here, and some defense right here. And then she's providing HP, more attack, and more defense on the second board. So even if you're not the depressed main character, a pretty useful character, apostle for the A club and also for the boards. Now, let's talk about her kit and why she's so good at the moment. She has right now 10-10-7 on my account. I don't want to invest more into her for now. I got her A2 as usual. I don't go for the A3, even though it's pretty good. You guys will see in a moment. And I got to level 130 and also rank 9 gear. Now, with all of this heavy investment in contrast to Xion and Kidian, that they don't have a journey and they are like 740 and 770k combat power, she is doing pretty well. So Xion doing 419 with her best items and Rristie with her best items doing 368. That is pretty respectable damage for a DPS on the depressed team, even if we consider once again the difference in combat power, because that is important to consider. But I think T1 is a good place for her for now. Once again, like I said earlier, she can be considered also a T2 unit, and I might be moving her up or down depending on the performance on the next Alias Frontier and Dimensional Clash when we keep testing more. So T2, T1, I like her in both places, and I can see her in both places. That's for the basic stuff. Let's jump about her skills and why she is there. So, her freshman skill deals AoE physical damage to the enemy with the lowest remaining HP ratio. If the enemy is not defeated, finds the target again up to 3 more times, dealing AoE physical damage. Now, this is why on single target she's so good, because the boss will never be dead, right? Like, you will always be able to hit the boss 4 times with the final hit, dealing even more damage. So we're talking about the skill that on single target is going to be dealing way more damage than when you are clearing normal waves that enemies die faster. There is more people hitting, she might lose some of those extra hits, might not be able to get the final hit either. So this skill is for single target, really strong. Then we have her senior skill. Deals physical damage by dropping 10 blocks on 3 targets with the lowest remaining HP ratio. The final block to drop deals higher damage and applies a stun. The target might change during a skill casting. This is why she's good at clearing. So freshman is for single target. Her senior, obviously, it's more damage for single target, but it's also pretty good at clearing because it provides the extra utility with the stun. So you could be running something like Ashur to fight assassins. You could be running something like Kidian for extra damage. You could be running Blanchett for the utility and her magic shred with the item on magical weak enemies. Or now you can also slot someone like Risty for the stun and extra damage on the backline. So you have plenty of options on the depressed team. And then her passive, senior skill stun is change. It basically increases the duration of the stun. It's great, but it's too expensive for me. I just don't think it's worth it. It can be going all the way to 6.6 seconds. At level 15, I believe it's going to be a 6.8 in total. So pretty good also for PvP, really good. And then we have her normal attack, which just physical damage, and the enhanced version, every 4th attack will deal a guaranteed critical damage. So again, really good damage for a character that is 50-50 on terms of support or utility if you wish with the stun, and also damage dealer. I think she's kind of like on a similar situation to Ashu, characters like that, but at the same time the depressed girls don't have that many journeys right now, and we have to also be rating the characters based on that. So in my opinion, nice DPS, she can compete right now. At the moment Xion and Gideon get the journey, Rristie might be moving down to T2 for sure, right? So that's for her skills. Now, like I said earlier, for some damage comparison, she's doing really well, but it depends on the items you are putting on her. Like, heavily depends on the items you're putting on her. And this is where her item comes into place. So her item is gonna be a good item, but only for hyper carries. So her item increases crit rate for 12 seconds every 6 normal attacks by the beater. This effect does not stack. At max stars, at 5 stars, is a 30% crit rate with 37% attack and 19% critical damage if you wield this item, and it's +2. This is a +2 item already when it comes to being wielded. Now, if you just get the item at +1 instead, so right here, what you're gonna be getting instead, it's an 18% crit rate, a 14% attack, and an 8% critical damage. I think it's still great stats, regardless if you get a 1 copy or go all in. First of all, welding, it's well bait. Ignore this system, I said this multiple times already. I would not go for the +5. If you are a spender, I would try to get dupes, but if you're free to play, just grab a copy and it's good. This is a great item only for hyper carries. So once again, your Risty is good with this, your Momo is good with this, your Seist is good with this, your Elena, your Xion, like Epica, even if you want, Erping, any character that is gonna be being your main damage dealer can benefit heavily from this, right? So that's why it's such a good card if you can get it. I would not go for dupes, do as I say, not as I do, because I'm too deep to not to stop pulling. So that's the card, and that's right now also the current situation with Rristie. Really good character, I like her a lot. I did 600 pulls and I didn't even 5-star her. I got super shafted, but I'm saving my devotion for the next LD, which should be Renewa. That's what I haven't gone too hard on the rest of the banners and what I'm waiting a little bit. But that's for the tier list, that's for the also the relic, and if it's worth pulling for 8 or not. I like it quite a bit. When it comes to Rristie herself and what type of items will work on her, anything DPS related will work really well. Skill damage scales really good just because she's gonna be spamming her senior skill and freshman, and that's where a lot of her damage comes from. So AJ Codex is an item that for her it's really good. Anything DPS related works, so her own item obviously, a mithril knife, Elena's drone for the attack speed as well, so you can proc this even faster. Something like the Xion Cape, the Dragon Light, Batter's yellow card because she has a lot of enhanced power as well for the guaranteed crits, and then you could also be putting something like Kiarot Sugarcane, or someone on the same row could have this. For the Kiarot Sugarcane, this increases the SP and gives attack speed, so this is even good on her as well. You can put her, you can put this item on her, no problem. This is for the basic. What about the journeys? Sefhi, what's going on with it, and it's worth going for it. It's never worth going for journeys. I've said this multiple times. This is just for spenders to grab or for free-to-plays to slowly work toward. The second journey, so the 2-star journey, is going to be recovering SP when defeating an enemy with her freshman skill. This for campaign is good, for bossing almost never will happen. And after using her senior skill, deals physical damage 3 additional times to the 3 enemies with the lowest remaining HP ratio. This is why she's doing so much extra damage as well when it comes to single target damage, because even if you could also be using this for AoE content, right? This A2 is going to be increasing her damage quite a bit. So you're getting the normal hits and then 3 extra damage that she's going to be providing with here, 256% per block. So pretty good. And her A3, if you can get it, increases SP recovery per second for back row allies. Fantastic A3, omega expensive, so I am not going for that. I will get it slowly. If they add her to the clone factory, I'll farm it there, but there is no chance I go for A3. It's way too many pulls for what it is. So to me, an A2 is already a great stopping point. If you are a main depressed, I would try to get 1 copy for sure, but I would not go for dupes on her or her card As usual, that is slowly over time. There is no rush, boys. That said, that's basically everything for this video, for both the character and the card and versus on the tier list. I will be updating later the website with a couple of the other guides because I have to update the Yggdrasil dig side teams to give a little bit more information on characters, and I might be making a guide also for 9-man or 9 apostle raid team composition, so you guys can see what are the best characters when it comes to 6 or 9 apostle options, right? That's it. That's everything for this one. As usual, we are live every day. You guys have the links in the description down below. Any questions you guys might have, you can also leave a comment. Good luck with the pool, the rates, and I'll see you in the next one.